There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Hello and welcome to IGOW6. I'm the creator and host of IGOW, Dan Sugano, aka Skittles, and in this video we're going to be covering the details of the first official challenge for the 6th season of the International Game of Whoop. If you've been following along for the past 2 months, you know that we're just wrapping up the 8th and final challenge of the preseason, and this will be the first challenge of the IGOW6 regular season. If you're brand new to IGOW, the basic game functions similar to that of a game of horse or skate, where when you are unable to complete a challenge, you will receive a letter. And after you get 4 letters, in our case IGOW, then you are eliminated from the game. During the IGOW6 preseason, each challenge had 3 goals, and the focus was on learning the basics of FPV freestyle with no risk of getting letters and being eliminated. However, now, in the regular season, rather than goals, each challenge will have 3 requirements, and you must complete all of the requirements to pass the challenge. So, this means if you fail any of the requirements or skip the challenge altogether, you will receive a letter. Also, if your video submission is over the 90-second maximum, you will receive a letter. And finally, even if you complete the challenge, but you do not submit properly via the Google form before the deadline, you will receive a letter. Now, I know that this may come off as overly strict, and I understand that for most pilots, the IGOW challenges are more or less just a fun excuse to get out of the house and fly every week. And I love that. But at the same time, IGOW is also a competition with a lot of cash and prizes on the line. So I want to make sure and keep everything as fair and objective as possible. Speaking of cash and prizes, IGOW's philosophy is to give out most of the prizes via random giveaway so that everyone has an equal chance to win, rather than just giving everything to those top performers. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still over $10,000 of combined cash and prizes for the top performing pilots. But for everything else, you do not even need to actually pass the challenge to be entered into the giveaways. All you need to do is submit a video of you at least attempting the challenge in real life, and that will qualify you for the giveaways. And if you want access to an additional $15,000+ in exclusive cash and prize giveaways, you can join the 7/7 bonus tier on the IGOW Patreon. Link in the description below. Okay, now let's go over the requirements for IGOW6. Challenge number 1, the EMAX self-orbits. Requirement 1 is that you must include the following 3 bits of information on the screen at some point during your video submission. And those 3 pieces of information are A, your pilot handle, for example, mine is Skittles. B would be your location, and for this one you can be as general or specific as you choose. And finally, C is an interesting fact about yourself. And again, the point of this challenge is kind of to introduce everyone to yourself, the pilot that's submitting the video. Requirement 2 is that you must perform at least 1 full orbit around yourself and at least 1 full orbit around another point of interest that is something that is important and or representative of you in some way. And lastly, requirement 3 is that you must perform at least 1 full orbit of each direction. These do not have to be around the same point of interest or even in the same clip. You just have to have at least 1 clockwise and 1 counterclockwise orbit in your submission. Okay, now let's get into the points of focus for this challenge. The main point of focus is that you must keep the point of interest in your FPV view for at least 1 full orbit of each direction. The only other points of focus for this first challenge are that you follow the 3 rules that will apply to every IGOW6 challenge, but won't be specifically listed in the requirements. The first is that you perform the requirements with no bumps, ground taps, or crashes. So for this challenge, if you say bounce off the ground or bump into anything while performing the orbit, it would be considered a fail even if it meets all the other requirements. The next is that you include at least one clip to satisfy each requirement that has no cuts, edits, or speed changes. Anything on top of the basic requirements can be edited in any way that you choose. So if you're orbiting something that is very large and takes a long time to get around, make sure you include at least one full orbit at regular speed. And finally, you must upload your video to YouTube, and the maximum length for all submissions in IGOW6 is 90 seconds. YouTube sometimes rounds up, so if your video ends up listed at 91 seconds, don't worry, that will be allowed. For IGOW6, I'm going to experiment with a new feature of the game that will be for entertainment purposes only. There are going to be 5 mentors, and each will have a team of pilots that they will help coach throughout the season. We will follow all of these team members through each challenge, and it will be like a mini competition within the larger game to see which team performs the best throughout the season. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the IGOW6 mentors.
The mentors. Tyrant. Callisto. Heads. Blaster. And Mo.
If you are interested in being selected to one of these teams, then make sure to indicate this when you fill out the submission form, and be sure to create an impressive video that shows why you think you should be picked. If you have a favorite, maybe even include an appeal directly to that mentor explaining why you want to be on their team. Alright, before we get into the challenge tutorial, I want to talk about this challenge's title sponsor, EMAX.
Welcome to EMAX, where innovation meets performance and precision is our passion. At EMAX, we don't just build components, we craft solutions that redefine industry standards. For 2 decades, EMAX has been at the forefront of technological advancements, pushing boundaries and delivering excellence to our customers worldwide. At EMAX, quality isn't just a goal, it's a standard we live by. Join the EMAX revolution today and experience the difference that precision engineering can make.
Meet the Tiny Hawk Nanoscout, EMAX's latest FPV drone, returning to the roots of what makes drones great. With a robust frame made of high-quality plastics, this drone is engineered to withstand the rigors of intense flying sessions. With material memory, the Nanoscout is able to return to its original shape no matter the damage. At the heart of the Tiny Hawk lies the powerful 08015 22,000 kV Nanoscout motor. Unlike other motors in the competition, the Nanoscout motor features a high-precision dual bearing system, ensuring maximum efficiency and power, allowing the motor to spin at higher RPMs than other motors with higher kV ratings. This combination delivers unparalleled speed and responsiveness. The Tiny Hawk Nanoscout by EMAX is not just a drone, it's a testament to what modern engineering can achieve. Durable, efficient, and powerful, it promises an FPV experience like no other. Elevate your flight with the Tiny Hawk Nanoscout, where every detail is a masterpiece, and every flight is an adventure.
EMAX is the presenting sponsor of IGOW6. They have provided thousands of dollars in cash and tons more in prizes for giveaways, including over 20 Tiny Hawk Nanoscout bind flies. I have been flying a stock Nanoscout for all of my example clips in IGOW6. And if you fly an EMAX drone in your video submission, then you will be entered into the additional EMAX exclusive giveaways beyond the general and bonus tier prizes. These giveaways typically have the best odds, and for this first challenge, there's going to be a $100 cash prize as well as a Nanoscout bind-a-fly up for grabs. Additionally, later this year, EMAX will also be the presenting sponsor of IGOW6, and there will again be a Nanoscout spec class with many exclusive prizes. so it can really pay to fly EMAX. Get yourself an EMAX drone today at emax-usa.com. All right, now let's get into the tutorial section of the video. Orbits are a pretty simple maneuver, so I will briefly cover what they are and how to perform them, and then the rest of the tutorial will focus on the spectrum of different ways that you can participate in IGOW. Okay, so let's get started by explaining what an orbit is. A standard orbit is simply flying around an object with the nose of your drone pointed in and focused on the object that you're circling around. And this can be done in either direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. All right, so now that that's clear, let's jump into the simulator so we can learn how to perform the orbit.
All right, so here we are in the Velocidrone simulator. We're gonna jump into the IGOW arena and do some orbits. This looks like a good obstacle here. You don't want something too big because then it gets a little awkward as you're orbiting. So basically, if you can perform a coordinated turn where you use both roll and yaw to turn around an obstacle, you're almost there to an orbit. It's not a very complicated maneuver. You basically just approach your point of interest, begin a coordinated turn, put a little more yaw into it so that the obstacle is more in the center of your screen, and then spin around. If you want to go faster, you can up the throttle, but you're going to have to pitch forward a little more so that you don't gain any altitude or distance from the obstacle. If you want to gain more distance, you just have to let the orbit get a little bigger and have a little less turn overall. So you can do the same thing for the right turn or the clockwise orbit, just like a right coordinated turn. Just keep going and yaw in a little bit more, and you're orbiting clockwise now. Alright, yeah, so just, give it a try in the sim. It shouldn't take you too long to get the hang of the orbit in both directions. And then once you feel comfortable, head out to the real world and find some cool things to orbit.
Okay, now that we are confident in our ability to perform orbits, the rest of the tutorial is going to explain how I suggest you approach IGOW6 by illustrating two extreme examples of ways to play the game. The first thing to think about is, what are your goals for the game? If you really just want to pass the challenge with as little effort as possible, then the bare minimum approach is definitely for you. This means that you just do enough to satisfy all of the requirements and nothing more. Let me grab my stuff and show you an example of how to get this done without even leaving the basement. A simple and easy way to complete requirement 1 is just to write down the 3 bits of information on a piece of paper and show that in your FPV view. All right, so self-orbit, we'll go one direction. If you break down requirements 2 and 3, you can satisfy everything that you need to do with just one self-orbit and one orbit in the opposite direction that's around any other point of interest. All right, obviously Skittles, something important to me, represents me more ways than one. That's Skittlebit. Then all you have to do is turn your clips into a YouTube video, fill out the submission form before the deadline, and you've completed IGOW6 challenge number 1, the EMAX self-orbits. On the other hand, if your goal is to create a much more entertaining and/or unique video and have a chance to be voted best overall video of the challenge, then you're going to need to put in more time and effort. Often this is going to include leaving your house and exploring your local area to find new and interesting places to fly. So with that in mind, Skittle and I are going to go out and get some clips. All right, so we've seen the bare minimum or just low effort, get it done at home approach to the challenge. But one of the main ideas of IGOW is that it gives you an excuse to go out every week and find somewhere cool or interesting to fly. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Rather than just orbiting myself in the basement, I'm gonna find an interesting spot in the local area to orbit myself. And then we're either gonna find some type of local landmark that's interesting and to me personally, or we'll just orbit Skittles again, but in a cooler location. Maybe at the dog park playing with some other dogs. So let's go out and see what we can find. Good go. All right, so as you can probably hear, we're here at the dog park. To start off the adventure, we'll get some orbits in of Skittles here, just as a backup in case we can't find any other interesting objects that would kind of represent myself or any other places we can orbit her. But we can let her off the leash here. She can run around and actually have some fun. Okay, okay, let's go, let's go. Can you go run out there? Go, run, go. Go get it, Ski. Go get it, it's over there. There you go. There you go, see, that's a good spot. Alright, let's try to get like a perfect orbit going. It's a little windy this way, so I gotta lessen the throttle here, up the throttle here, lessen, up, lessen, up. Ooh, nice shadow. Sometimes not over myself here. Skittles joined in. Alright, ready to go, looks like. So I was trying to think what else I could orbit that I haven't already done in past seasons of IGOW. I've done some of the most iconic landmarks around Seattle. I think in IGOW4, we did the Hammering Man at the Seattle Art Museum. Last year, of course, the Space Needle. I've done the penguin sculpture down in Kent here that I always really liked. I like penguins. And yeah, I can't remember everything exactly, but trying to think of something else cool that I could orbit, and of course a cool place to orbit myself. We did get a couple in there at the dog park, but yeah, not exactly the most interesting location. Anyway, there is this sculpture over here, these balls that are kind of a cool obstacle. So I think I'm gonna sit down over here and fly around them. All right, so these balls just sitting on the ground turned out to be a pretty fun obstacle, but I need to find some places that would be cool to orbit myself. I've done myself just kind of sitting around, but I want to like stand in a cool spot or something. See if we can find something here, and then maybe we'll move on to the next park. So I'm gonna stand up on this blue thing, ideally. Come on, Ski, gotta put you up there first. Ready? Come here. Oh, okay. All right, Ski, you ready? Let's do some orbits. I'm gonna have to get inside of that. My shirt is the same color as the thing. Guess a little bit different. Alright, so at another park, and this one has a couple cool spots. Not sure what this thing is, but it's a circle, and you can stand on it, so we're gonna orbit ourselves on it. That's all the battery we got. So, I was trying to think of somewhere iconic or representative of Seattle that I haven't orbited yet in IGOW, and I couldn't really come up with something. I've done kind of the major landmarks, but once I got a little hungry here, I thought of a great idea. So me and Ski are heading there now to kind of wrap up this trip. If we find any more cool spots on the way, might stop there for a quick orbit, but I think this is going to be the last stop. We have more than enough clips now to put together this video. So the place I thought of was one of my favorite places to go as a kid whenever I was particularly hungry for some hamburgers, and that is Dick's Hamburgers. It's a drive-in spot. Just like drive up and get some delicious hamburgers, fries, and shakes, which I'm going to do now. So orbit this sign a little bit, and then we'll head back home, eat, and edit our video into a submission. There we go. Turns around. Dick's. Alright, so now I'm back at my computer, and as you can see, I'm taking all of my footage, sorting through it, and editing it into a 90-second maximum submission. I'm gonna find a cool song that'll go with it, and then we will submit it via the Google form. You can find the link to that form in the video description, on the Discord, or on the website, as you can see here. And just fill out that form, and you've completed IGOW6 challenge number 1, the EMAX self-orbits.
It's like that in a hieroglyphic
Here we go. Life is a blast when you know what you're doing. Best to know what you're doing for your life get ruined. Life is a thrill when your skill is developed. If you ain't got a skill or trade, then shut the hell up. My rhymes is like dropping your head on cement, cracking it open, hoping to make a dent. I'm hell bent on resurrection, perfection. Lesson number 1, rekindle the essence. Rap ain't about busting caps and fucking bitches. It's about fluency with rhyming ingenuity. All of this is new to me. See, I beat rhymes with scrutiny under a microscope. I walk a tightrope, a thin line between insanity and sanity, mixed with a little vanity, boosting the morality with oral hospitality. Soon to strike it rich like calories, salaries. Sounds like a plan, and I will expand hip hop as well. Might even kick a little impromptu to stomp you weaklings, speaking things foreign to the human ear that you will hear now, whether you like it or not. My plots bring a little light on the situation and all the stipulations. The shit you wasting time on, you pawns. It was planned like that, but we can fight back like David Horowitz and say we want no more of this and put it in a cryogenic status. We place it with the latest in technology, hip hop policies that demolish your follies. IGOW6 free, get off of me.
That's all the battery we got.
All right, IGOWers, my closing advice is that you should prioritize having fun however you decide to participate in IGOW6. Whatever part of the game brings you the most enjoyment is what you should focus on, because if you're not having fun flying, then you're going to burn out much more quickly. Remember, you have over 3 weeks to complete this first challenge, but don't procrastinate too much and make sure that you get your submission done before the deadline, because I will not be accepting any late videos during the regular season. Also, if you're going to any events like maybe Multi-GP International Open, then encourage all of your FPV friends to get their orbit clips done there at the event and then show them how to join the game. I'm excited to learn more about all of you IGOWers, so good luck and happy whooping.
Fucking bored, man. Boredom's the first step on the road to relapse. Ooh.